All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? Friday, April 5th. We got 7 games on tap tonight on DraftKings and FanDuel here. DraftKings does start at 5:40 p.m. Central Time, 6:40 Eastern Time. A little bit earlier than usual with that New York Mets Cincinnati game and that Philly Washington game on the slate here. But how much, man? Happy Friday. What's going on, brother? We got day baseball going on, but we got 7 games to talk about tonight. What's up, man? How's your week? How's your Friday? How are you?
Yeah, doing good. Looking forward to tonight's slate. We got got a cat that just jumped up here, but got the Rockies about to play, and luckily they're not on the main slate, Nate. It's a 13-run total, so I'm glad that's not on the main slate. We can focus on these other, I think, 7 games, and there's some great pitching. On Monday, we had some bad pitchers on there, but now we got some bona fide aces tonight. Got some stacks that we like as well, so we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk through it here. Got obviously clear-cut chalk, all coming from the same team, Atlanta Braves. What? Another day ended in Y, right? We're going to be talking about the Braves a lot this season. We're going to be talking about Spencer Strider a lot this season. Obviously, he's the clear-cut chalk at the top from the pitching, and his team, his fellow bats, are also the clear-cut chalk in terms of the offense here tonight. But, man, $11K for Spencer Strider. We're going to get into it. But if you guys are new, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. Say what's up to a couple people in the chat. But before we do, got to run the promo off the top here. Use that promo code HOOP15. This guy just continues to print money. Every sport, doesn't matter. HOOP15 gets you 15% off any membership plan you do choose. Get in there. Masters is next week. We got you covered for that. Got you covered for NASCAR, college football once that returns, NFL once it swings around. We got you covered for the remainder of the NBA season here. Our guy Rio has been absolutely crushing. Had a top 10 finish out in the live final in the NBA streets. Just shipped another 50K the other night. He is absolutely on fire. Does our slate plan over here for NBA. Throws up a core each and every night, along with myself and Hamwich. We got you covered there. So use that promo code HOOP15. Get you 15% off any membership package you do choose. If you do the monthly package, it takes it down to about $2 a day for all sports. Best Discord community in the industry, including all the giveaways that we run over here for our members. So check that out. But Hamwich, we're going to jump in right away here. We're going to talk pitching, and we're going to talk 8K and above. And then we're going to go 8K and below. We'll talk game by game after that for the bats here. But 8K and above, man, you got a lot of pitchers in here. I'm going to throw you out a couple of names here. Number 1, Spencer Strider, obviously. Freddie Peralta, Aaron Nola are kind of the 3 that are getting the most ownership up here. But you got other guys like Hunter Brown, Cutter Crawford, who I like a lot. Got Hunter Green in there, Aaron Nola, Logan Gilbert. I mean, this loaded range up at the top is definitely one that we have to talk through and discuss here. What are you doing with Strider? What are you doing with Peralta? What are you doing with Nola? And then anybody else you have interest in DraftKings and FanDuel here. Break it down.
Yeah, let's just start at the top. And this isn't necessarily my order. I know we always come back at the end and go through our order, but let's start at the top. Spencer Strider, the accolades, I don't need to tell you to play him. I do not mind the matchup. The Diamondbacks, I think he can get through them with some ease. I think he can get through any lineup really in the MLB with some ease. The decision point there is he's 11K, right? So if you go him at 11K, it's going to be tough to squeeze in another one of these, let's just call it 8+ K pitchers. You can, and I think we can find one. We'll talk about down here in a little bit, but I certainly don't mind Spencer Strider making his home debut this season against the D-backs. D-backs do have some bats, so I could understand if you wanted to fade him, but he's squarely in play tonight. That would be where I would start. Number 2 for me in this list is going to be Freddie Peralta, 9,300. Your boy, Fastball Freddie, going up against this Mariners team, who I'm just not that afraid of so far in this season. Have a projected K lineup percentage of over 27% off of last season, and we know Fastball Freddie is a good strikeout pitcher. I do want to mention Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola got didn't have the best performance, I guess, in game one against the Braves. That can be said. But now gets to take on this Nationals team in Washington Park. Nationals team historically last season didn't strike out a whole ton, but I don't mind Aaron Nolan in this spot as well. The last one I want to mention is going to be Hunter Green. I have a ton of interest in Hunter Green tonight. Should be facing 6 lefties, and he can strike out lefties with the best of them. I do like a one-off that I'll talk about when we go game by game, but I think people are going to be sleeping on Hunter Green, 8,300, coming in around 15% ownership. That can be the 4 that I have the most interest in tonight.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown here at the top. I tend to agree a little bit here with you. Spencer Strider doesn't take us to come on here and tell you, right? Spencer Strider, elite ace, incredible year last year, incredible. I mean, this guy's strikeout rate, he had a 37% strikeout rate amongst the every start last season. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. But does get a pretty tough low strikeout matchup here with the D-backs, with power and speed throughout this lineup. And he is 11K. I get the reasoning, right? Spencer Strider, but I'm looking for I think when you play Spencer Strider, everyone else is going to go down once we talk about a guy down at the bottom in Griffin Canning here against this Boston Red Sox team at 7K. I think that's going to be the chalk pairing, especially in single entry 3-max stuff, which I play. So tonight, I think Spencer Strider is the clear-cut ace. I'm going to be a little bit underweight in my 3-max stuff. Definitely include him in MME, but I want to spend up on some bats. Obviously, Houston I like a lot. I like the Phillies. I like some of these other teams. Obviously, the Braves bats as well. It's hard to do. And I just think a different pairing like a Peralta and a Cutter Crawford pairing can outmatch the points per dollar ceiling that Spencer Strider could have here tonight. So great play, but I actually my SP1 on the slate is going to be Freddie Peralta here. Love Freddie Peralta here in this spot, especially at home. Fastball Freddie at home. I like him in Miller Park. 9,300 I think is a fair price point. This Mariners team coming in has an anticipated strikeout rate of 26% against right-handed pitching last season on the road. So he's my SP1. Cutter Crawford's actually going to be my SP2 here facing this Angels team. Late night hammer here, but I just like Cutter Crawford. I think his strikeout stuff is there. He has a 26% strikeout rate last season on the road, and he's got a fair price at 8,400. So I like that pairing quite a bit. I'm with you on Hunter Green. I like Hunter Green a lot here. I don't mind the Braves or the Mets bats in terms of leverage. I think Hunter Green is going to be much more popular over on FanDuel. Personally, I think where it's just a one-pitcher site. I know you're mainly FanDuel there. I don't mind attacking both sides there. I think Hunter Green either goes one of two ways. He's a hard-throwing, right, fastball pitcher. Guys can get to him with power. The only issue is Mets team is pretty brutal outside of obviously Pete Alonso and things like that. But I don't hate both sides of this. I like a little bit of the Mets in tournaments just because I do think Hunter Green gets a lot of late steam here and picks up a decent amount of ownership. I think it's split between him and Crawford kind of down in this tier. And I think Hunter Green is going to come in decently owned, especially on DraftKings at his fair price point at 8,300. So I don't mind both sides. I think he's a solid option, but I do like some of these Mets bats a little bit. Once we talk about this Mets team, it is a tough matchup. Hunter Green, excuse me, big strikeout arm, right? Had a 31% strikeout rate last season. This Mets team, though, does come in with a very low strikeout rate. I mean, just 20% anticipated in this lineup. With some power, guys like Francisco Alvarez, right? Pete Alonso in there that can get to him, Lindor, Nemo at the top. So for me, SP1, Peralta, SP2, Cutter Crawford, and then it's a mix of Hunter Green and Aaron Nola for me is kind of where I'm going up at this top tier. Logan Gilbert, I think, is fine, but I don't love the price. If I'm spending up there, I just rather drop $300 and go to Peralta or spend all the way up to Strider. So long-winded way of saying my 4 pitchers up in this top tier is Peralta, Cutter Crawford, Hunter Green, and Nola. Out on the other guys in this range. Let's go 8K and a below here. Griffin Canning is the name I'm going to throw out, and then Jose Quintana. Those are kind of the 2 guys that are getting the ownership. Outside of that, realistically, nobody else down here. I don't think really anybody else. I don't have a ton of interest in anyone else down here really at all outside of Griffin Canning. But talk about this cheap tier. Are you going with a Canning? Are you going with a Quintana to afford the Braves bats? What does it look like for you in the value tier?
Yeah, real quick, just going back to Hunter Green. I mean, he is going to be unowned on FanDuel. He's the second most expensive pitcher on FanDuel at 10-3. People are either going to pay $500 to get to Strider or pay $200 less to get to Nola, not to even mention Peralta. So if you want to get very contrarian on FanDuel, Hunter Green's going to be your guy because he is going to be sub 5%. No, maybe sub 8 for sure. So that would be where I would go. But yeah, he's got a tough matchup as it relates to K's, but very, very, very contrarian on DK. But yeah, looking at this lower tier, it's going to be gross. Nades, it's not a lot. I mean, Eric Fetty had a good outing his first time out. Griffin Canning, you're going to talk about a little bit. I'm going to give you a name that not many people are going to play, and it's gross. It's down there, $5,500. Patrick Corbin taking on this Phillies team, first game on the road. Hey, they strike out. Third most strikeouts on the slate today. If you want to get super sneaky on DK, I wouldn't play him on FanDuel, but Patrick Corbin, high strikeout upside with those Phillies. I won't be playing many guys down there. I know it's gross, but yeah, that would be where I'd go.
Yeah, I'll let you play freaking journeyman Patrick Corbin here. I'm going to stack up the Phillies with guaranteed ninth inning at bats against the guy that you can run on wild and hit home runs off of. So I'll let you go with Patrick Corbin. The only guy down here that I would even play is Griffin Canning. I do want to caution you. Braves bats and Canning is going to be a popular route, and Strider and Canning is going to be a popular route. So I would be cautious when you're stacking those guys up. Pretty much every Braves, especially five-man Braves stack, is going to have Griffin Canning as a pitcher at 7K. It just is. The strikeout matchup is great for Griffin Canning. He had a 26% strikeout rate last season. This anticipated Red Sox lineup tonight here has a 28% strikeout rate last season on the road against right-handed pitching. So 7K, he's too cheap. He's at home here. He's going to be the chalk SP2 for sure, along with the Braves. So I just don't like, in a sport like MLB, I'm going to talk about chalk a lot this season. More times than not, I'm just going to be underweight on chalk roster construction builds. It doesn't mean you can't play this guy. I do like him. I love him here tonight. He's probably my third favorite pitcher, all said and done, on the slate tonight, behind Crawford, behind Peralta. But just be wary on how you stack him up. If you use him, maybe go off the wall. Maybe play the Astros bats instead of the Braves bats. Maybe play the Royals. Maybe play the Mets against Hunter Green, who's home run prone. Do something like that instead of just going there, play Griffin Canning, play a Cutter Crawford or a Hunter Green, and then five-man stack or Atlanta, because a lot of teams are going to be like that. So I did want to call that out. But realistically, the only guy down here I'm even considering is Griffin Canning. So it's just 5 pitchers for me here tonight. I'll rank them for you guys. Then I'll throw it over to Hamwich to rank yours. I'm going to go Freddie Peralta, number 1, Cutter Crawford, 2, Griffin Canning, 3. I'm going to go Aaron Nola, 4 for me. And then Hunter Green will be my 5th guy up in this pitchers tonight here. Hamwich, go ahead and rank your top 5, and then we'll break it down game by game.
Yeah, similar to you, I'm going to have Freddie, number 1, Spencer Strider, a close number 2, Aaron Nola, a close number 3. Hunter Green would be a distant 4th, especially on FanDuel. That's if you want to get contrarian. And then number 5 for me, I'm gonna my sneaky play, Patrick Corbin, 5.5. I like him a lot on DK. I think he gets over 15 plus DraftKings points. That's my sneaky little pitcher of the day.
All right. Well, your sneaky little pitch, I'll send you my Venmo. You can go ahead and just send me your entry fees. I'll go out there and throw a couple BP Browns, and we'll see what happens there. Won't be a Friday with a little friendly banter between the bookend squad here, Nades and Ham, little green eggs and Ham. But you can have Corbin. I'll take my chances and not play Corbin and actually stack against Corbin. Another day ended in Y. Stacking anytime Corbin's on the slate, I'm going to stack against him. So you can have fun with that, but let's go ahead and talk about game by game here. First game we have on the slate here, New York Mets, Cincinnati Reds. Pretty big total in this one. Quintana on the mound, Hunter Green on the mound. I think Hunter Green picks up a decent amount of ownership on DraftKings at his $8,300 price point. Also think some of these Mets pick up a little bit of ownership here. You know what Hunter Green is, high strikeout, a hard thrower, but he leaves some of those across the heart of the plate. Guys like Pete Alonso, Francisco Alvarez, Lindor could get into him. DJ Stewart's in the lineup as well here tonight. Talk about this one, New York Mets, Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, this should be a good game. The Mets lineup, as you said, is out. They're struggling to start the season. So what does Skipper do? He changes the lineup up. Pete Alonso batting second tonight. Love him in the 2-hole, right behind Francisco Lindor. So give me some Alonso as a one-off. I said it earlier in the show. I think Green can struggles with these righties. And I like Alonso to take him deep tonight. I don't mind Green as well. Then on the flip side, we didn't really talk about Quintana. I mean, going into the Great American Small Park, this Reds lineup up and down is pretty good, but I think he keeps him at bay. He limits the damage, or the Reds don't hit lefties very well, especially at home. So not much interest in the Reds. I won't be full stacking them up. It's just Pete Alonso as a one-off for me in this one.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. I see some talk on Brady Singer. I do think Brady Singer is fine. He's not a huge strikeout arm, but he does have a good strikeout matchup here against the White Sox here. I think he's a fine option. I do like the Royals bats as well. I mean, this confirmed White Sox lineup, but Brady Singer, I mean, he had a sub 19% strikeout rate last season. I don't think that's going to take a huge tick up. At his price point at 8,700, I just like the guys around him more. I like Nola more. I like Cutter Crawford more, and I like Hunter Green more. It's kind of the reason I'm off Brady Singer, but I do think he's a fine option. Like I said, I do think he has run support. I like these Royals quite a bit here tonight as kind of a lower-owned contrarian stack. So I did want to address Jake in the chat. See King of Smack talking about that as well. So I appreciate you guys interacting there in the chat. In terms of this game, Mets Cincinnati, I like the Mets a little bit as a mini stack here. Pete Alonso, Alvarez, Lindor, and DJ Stewart. Nice thing about that is you can wrap it around to the top, a little 9-2-3 or a 9-1-2 stack, something like that. But outside of that, really not going to this game at all. It's just a mini stack on the Mets side. No interest in these Reds against Quintana. Doesn't mean I don't have interest. It doesn't mean I have interest in Quintana. I'm just liking other offense more. These two offenses didn't really make the cut outside these Mets as kind of a mini stack. Or one-offs play. Pete Alonso, my favorite bat, followed by Francisco Alvarez at $3,200. He's hitting third, guaranteed ninth inning at bats with some power from the catcher position at $3,200. I definitely like him quite a bit. And then DJ Stewart, $3,100, batting in the 9 spot. He had a 263 ISO last year against right-handed pitching on the road, so I think he's also solid here in Great American Small Park, guaranteed ninth inning at bats. Let's jump to the next game here. Phillies and Nationals. I love the Phillies. One of my favorite stacks on the board. I really, really like a 2-man stack in this game. But like 5-man Phillies, I like mini stacking these Phillies against Patrick Corbin. Another day ended in Y for me. Patrick Corbin had an expected ERA of 6.1 last season. You can steal on him. He had a 15% strikeout rate last season. Now faces this Phillies team who does have a lot of strikeout bats in that lineup, right? Castellanos, Brandon Marsh, Rojas down at the back, even Kyle Schwarber, but also comes with a lot of power. I'm on the Phillies. Sounds like you're off the Phillies here, so break this one down, Phillies and Nationals.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Phillies, obviously some big names in that lineup. Nick Castellanos hasn't really found his groove yet. He's projected, if it's not out yet, we haven't projected to bat 7th tonight, and just checking the lineup. Yeah, it's still not out yet. We haven't projected batting 7th. He's been struggling all season long. Don't like him. Don't like Brandon Marsh. Don't like Rojas. So there's 3 names off the list already. I wouldn't mind JT Real Muto. Would kind of be where I would go. Hopefully he's batting 5th. We currently have him at 6th in the projected lineup. But, man, there's tons of strikeouts up and down this roster. I won't be full stacking him to be JT Realmuto as a one-off catcher on DK. Then on the flip side, I'm not going to pick on Nola. As I mentioned earlier, low strikeouts in this Nationals lineup, but man, they got some bad names in there. I think Nola has his way tonight with this Nationals team. Don't know what the weather is. Need to check that weather, but I bet it's cold there. Ball's not going to be traveling tonight, Nades. Get you some Corbin and thank me later.
No, you can have Corbin. I don't care. The weather, I mean, it's April baseball, right? Beginning of the season. The weather across the country really isn't great. So I'm not really worried about weather too much here. But yeah, I'm not playing Corbin. I mean, I'll leave you to play Corbin here. I like Schwarber, I like Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. But my favorite 2 bats are Real Muto and Alec Boehm. Projected to hit 5.7, even if they come in 5.6. I really like that 2-man stack a ton. Real Muto, think he's a pivot off of some of these other catchers up at that top tier. Obviously, you got the Braves guys in there. You got Salvador Perez. I like Realmuto. I like Alec Boehm quite a bit. Alec, both 4K, 4,400. I like that two-man. Like the other guys. So I do like these Phillies as a five-man stack. I don't love the Rojas, the Marshes, those guys, the Bryson Stotts, but in stacks, I think they're fine. But yeah, I like these Phillies quite a bit here tonight. On the national side, you can always bring my guy CJ Abrams at a shortstop position just because his power speed combination. So you can always play him, but I'm really not looking to attack Aaron Nola on this slate. I like Aaron Nola quite a bit. So Phillies, one of my favorite stacks, probably top three here, outside the Braves, outside the Astros, and no Nationals for me. Let's jump to the next game here. We have to talk about it. Clear-cut chalk slate or chalk stack of the evening. Implied to score over 6 runs. Atlanta Braves here at home facing Tommy Henry, a lefty, low strikeout lefty here. And then the D-backs. Are you picking out any of these D-backs against Spencer Strider here? I don't think it's a slate to do that. But Arizona, I think, is going to be a team we're playing a lot this season. Just don't know if tonight's the night to play any of these D-backs against Spencer Strider, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no D-backs over here. Pick and choose our battles, and tonight's not one of those battles I want to pick on. Arguably the best pitcher in the majors, definitely top, 3, top 5 type pitcher. So I'll pass on the D-backs. Then yeah, it's going to be open season on the Braves. You're going to see them littered throughout the lineups. More than likely be on the winner facing, you said it, low strikeout thrower. Tommy Henry not really going to blow these guys away. Strikes out less than 17% of the batters on the road. Up and down this lineup, you can go to pick names off. Marcelo Zuna double dong the other night, squarely in play. Any of these righties are in play. I don't like it that Travis d'Arnaud is batting ninth tonight. I saw that, wasn't a fan of that. So I probably won't have much of d'Arnaud batting down there in the ninth. But Michael Harris, lefty to start the game off, I think is fine. I mean, obviously we don't think Henry's going to be in there long. So give me some Michael Harris as kind of a contrarian play as it relates to these Braves. But you can pretty much stack, in my opinion, 1 through 8 is kind of being where I'll go tonight.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different. I actually don't mind TDA down there in the 9 spot because I like the back half of this lineup more just because of the salaries. Ozuna, I love. Adam Duvall, I like a ton. Michael Harris should be pretty safe from pitch hit because he is starting lefty here. Don't expect Henry to be in there long. Then he's got the platoon advantage likely after that. 4,600 can steal bases. Arcia fills a pretty weak shortstop position for a nice price point. So I actually like the back half of this lineup. So I'm a little bit different than you with TDA. I do like him just because I like the back half of lineups when you're stacking up a team, especially a chalky team, because a lot of times a lot of people just disregard. I mean, a lot of people in their optimizers even uncheck the 7, 8, 9 hitters, which is a lot of times how you get different and win a tournament. Is just having that one guy in the chalk stack. Hoop talks about it all the time. Happened to me on opening day. I played the chalk stack. I forgot now what it was, but I had what's his face in my I had Martini in my core, double dong, hitting in the 7 or 8 spot, and he was 7% owned. Everybody else was 15, 20+% owned in the stack, and I still almost shipped everything. Just having that one guy. So I'm a little bit different. 1 through 9 firmly in play for me. It's kind of how it fits my position. Just because I like spending up here at pitcher, I'm going with the Peralta, Cutter, Crawford as my main combo. So it's going to be hard for me to afford the 6,500 Acuñas, the Rileys, the Matt Olsons, because I like some other bats at those positions. But 1 through 9, Braves, another day ended in a Y, especially against one of the worst pitchers on the slate here in Tommy Henry, low strikeout guy, no ground ball ability either last season, really showing to either side of the plate. Doesn't set him up well coming into Truist Park to face one of the best offenses in all of the majors. On the other end, no D-backs for me. Don't think it's a slate to pick on Spencer Strider here. I just like the points per dollar guys that I think can match the output that Strider could put up here tonight. Let's jump into the next game here. Chicago White Sox heading into Kansas City to face the Royals. Brady Singer on the mound. I know some guys in the chat talking about Brady Singer. I didn't have a ton of interest just because I like the other guys more around his area, but doesn't mean I have interest in a pretty gross overall team here in Chicago. I don't think you're going to be playing these guys much all season long, outside of maybe a Moncada or a Luis Robert one-off. No White Sox for me, but I do like these Royals quite a bit. I'll kick it over to you. White Sox, Royals, what bats are you looking at? Where are you going here?
Yeah, I think Jake and King of Smack, they want those 10 Ks again from Singer, who was dazzling on opening day, trying to chase those 10 Ks. Hey, the White Sox are pretty bad, so maybe they can he can duplicate that. I mean, I just don't see myself getting to these White Sox that often this season, and certainly not going to do it tonight with Brady Singer on the hill. If there was one guy, I think you said his name, Luis Robert, batting in the 3-hole tonight, we believe is what we have projected. That would be the only one. As if you wanted a one-off. And then, I was looking at your core. You're hot and heavy on these Royals. Bobby Witt, $6,300 on DK. That's a big boy price tag. That's almost like an Acuna-esque type price tag over there. But these bats are going to be, I think, going to be popular tonight. I don't mind them at all. There's a lot of power up and down that lineup. And Eric Fetty's not a guy that I'm afraid of. So, give me some of these Royals tonight against this White Sox team. But no White Sox for me other than maybe a one-off.
Yeah, I'm planting my flag with these Royals again. I mean, Fetty's going to get Fetty whopped here tonight by these Royals in Kansas City there. So maybe I'll be playing a little tunes on my drive down to Chicago here, and hoping that I can get these Royals fired up here tonight. But my favorite bat on the entire slate here, I'll talk about him. He's my call again tonight here. I'll give you guys the home run call early. I'll give you a bonus one at the end. But Nelson Velasquez, I mean, this guy, 3,600, hitting 6 tonight. Don't think he's going to get a ton of ownership. He's going to be sub 10% owned. He had a 382 ISO last year against right-handed pitching. I mean, this guy just absolutely murders the baseball. Nobody plays him. He's hitting in the heart of the lineup. This lineup up and down, the Royals aren't a great offense, but they do have a lot of power throughout this lineup. Vinny P, Bobby Witt, Perez, MJ Melendez, Nelson Velasquez, Hunter Renfroe. I mean, I love this lineup up and down here. I like using all 3 of your outfield spots up with the Royals. That's one way to get different in terms of roster construction on DraftKings, is everybody likes, right? Outfield's the most loaded position for rosters. If you just go ahead, I'm going in on the Royals tonight. I like using all 3 of my outfield spots up on the Royals. I love them all. Hunter Renfroe, Velasquez, Melendez. I love this offense. I think the Royals get a big one here. I could see 6, 7, 8 runs coming tonight against Mr. Eric Fetty. Going to get Fetty whopped. No White Sox for me on the other end. Hope it's a Royals night tonight. That's kind of where I'm going. Like them quite a bit here tonight. Let's talk about the next one here. We got 3 games left to talk about, and I think this is a pretty good one, especially on the Astros side. I think this is my favorite pivot off of the Braves bats at a similar price point. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats, which is always nice. Likely the Braves will not be hitting in the bottom of the 9th there in Atlanta. It's the Astros implied to score over 5 runs here. The Rangers on the other side have 4.5 implied run total against Hunter Brown. We didn't talk about him too much when we broke down pitching, if at all. Last season, he did have an 11% hard hit barrel rate to both sides of the plate here on the road. Any Rangers for you? And then talk about these Astros who have been pretty red hot to start the season here.
Yeah, I feel like this game's not going to get as much ownership as the Braves, and rightfully so. Probably the Phillies, facing Corbin. But you said, I mean, both of these teams have over a 4 implied run total. Obviously, the Astros have a 5, and we have a total of 10. The highest total on the slate, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think they're going to get a lot of ownership. I think most of the ownership is going to come in on the Astros facing Corey Bradford. You said it. They get 27 outs. Rematch, or not a rematch, but a Texas showdown. I was in Dallas earlier in the week, and there's billboards all over the place talking about rivalry renewed. It's a big game. We should see an exciting game. Corey Bradford, a lefty. So give me some of these righties for the Astros. Yarnar Diaz, who was in Hoops Core the other night, double dong. Don't mind him at 4,200. Chaz McCormick at 4,000. I don't mind him. And Jeremy Pena, keep an eye on him, 3,900. I like those guys. Then you obviously can always play your dong and Kyle Tucker. I prefer the Astros to the Rangers in tonight's game. The only Ranger that I would have interest in would be a one-off Corey Seager I haven't seen their confirmed lineup, but I believe he normally bats second, so he should bat there again. But give me this Astros team up and down outside of Jose Abreu, no Jose Abreu for me, and then Corey Seager as a one-off for me. But I think we're seeing fireworks tonight in Dallas.
Yeah, no, I like this Astros team quite a bit here. Looking at Bradford, right? Bradford did have a very good opening day start here, but I think this is a much different matchup here with this Houston lineup. Looking at his numbers last season, very limited sample size, but didn't have great strikeout numbers overall. Came in with a lot of power to righties here. So obviously, when you look at that, 7 righties projected in this lineup: Jose Altuve, Bregman, Yainer Diaz. Even Abreu, old man Abreu, has some power left in him still. Chas McCormick, Jeremy Pena, Jake Myers is a value bat down there. A lot of righties, a lot of hard hitting righties, a lot of power righties in there. I think this is gonna be tough spot here for Bradford. I see some regression coming here. Guaranteed 9th at bats. I love 1 through 9 for these Astros. Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, two of the best two of the best hitters in all of baseball. Lefty doesn't really matter. They both can hit lefties well. And they're both going to be lower owned because of that lefty. People just don't like playing lefty, especially guys that are 56 and 5,700 on DraftKings in the outfield position. So 1 through 9, love these Astros. My second favorite stack. My favorite stack, if you're pivoting off of the Braves and off of the Phillies, those are the two highest owned offenses by far on the slate here. I like these Astros quite a bit, going right back to the well. It's nice, guaranteed 9th inning at bats as well. So 1 through 9, Astros for me. I like Jake Myers as a value play down there. If he's hitting 9 expected right now, Yainer Diaz, again, had him in my core the other day as well, along with Hoop. That was nice to see, catching that. Chas McCormick, don't need to talk on them very much more. On the Rangers side, Hunter Brown, let me just pull up his numbers last season, because I do think this Rangers offense last season was one of the best offenses in baseball in terms of home runs. I would look at the righties in particular, just because the power hitting righties, Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, it would be two of my favorite bats. But Hunter Brown, ground ball pitcher last season, looking at the numbers, he had a 55% ground ball rate to the right side of the plate, 52% overall. I just don't like stacking against the ground ball pitcher here. So it would just be one-offs. Corey Seager, always you can play him. Evan Carter, Adolis Garcia. But I'm not looking to stack these Rangers up. I like other offenses more. Just one-offs with guys I think you can play any slate they're on. And Hunter Brown's not a super scary pitcher by any means, but he's a ground ball guy. So I typically don't like stacking against ground ball pitchers in baseball. 2 games left to talk about here. We're going to jump into my Milwaukee Brewers here, Seattle Mariners, Logan Gilbert, Freddie Peralta. I think both these pitchers are very good. I think both these pitchers are definitely can be played tonight. Freddie Peralta, my clear-cut favorite pitcher on the slate here. Long way of saying no really bats interest. One of the lowest totals on the entire slate here. Both teams implied to score under 4 runs. I think this is a cross-up spot for bats. I like both pitchers. I think you can see a pitcher's duel here, but any value bats here. Jackson Churro, absolute complete stud there. He's just 3,500 still. Bryce Terang with some stolen base upside there at 3K at a weak second base position. Any interest in bats here? Seattle, Milwaukee, how much?
Yeah, this is going to be a game that I cross off. No bats for me. If you wanted to get super contrarian and, maybe win a large field GPP, I don't think the Mariners are the worst play tonight in this game. That would be, full stack them and hope they go off for 14 and Freddie doesn't have his stuff tonight, but I'm not going to be doing that. I know you're not either, because we have tons of interest in Freddie. I'm just saying that's a great way to get different if you wanted to throw something in the lotto and try to get lucky.
Yeah, I would just rather play like a Rangers or a different offense here, to be honest, than go up against that. But me and Freddie's going to be one of the highest owned pitchers, and I always make a case, right? You get a double leverage situation. I'm just not doing it here tonight. It's not for me. But these Mariners do have a lot of power. Julio Rodriguez, Polanco, Haniger, Mitch Garver, Cal Raleigh.
They got the name for sure.
Yeah, all those guys do have power. Freddie can struggle a little bit to home runs, but not for me here tonight. Another story here. These last 2 games are pretty weak in terms of offense. We go into another one here. The last game on the slate, Red Sox and Angels out in LA, the late game of the slate, 9:38 Eastern time. Cutter Crawford, Griffin Canning, two of my favorite pitchers on the entire slate. Realistically, no bats for me in this one. But do you see something I'm missing?
Yeah, I was looking at that at the weather report that our good buddy puts out. And he was talking about 20 miles an hour out to right field. So that kind of scares me in this game. If they get, if one of those lefties, gets one up in the air, it could carry. And just looking at the numbers that I was looking at, Tristan Casas, Rafael Devers, both looking very nice tonight for those Bo Sox. That would kind of be the extent of it. I feel like they're just playing small ball this year so far, just not really crushing the ball. But, yeah, give me those two, Casas and Devers, maybe as a mini stack, if you will. Going to bat 2-4 more than likely. And then, goodness gracious, this Angels team is just absolutely horrific. I don't think Anthony Rendon's got a hit all season. The only person you could even remotely consider playing, in my opinion, would be Mike Trout. He's just got no help. Needs to get out of there. But, yeah, it's Mike Trout or bust on the Angels side. And then if you wanted to stack up those lefties for the Red Sox, I would start with Devers, Casas, and build in around there, and that would be it. Kind of like a late-night hammer. In L.A., Friday night, Nades, L.A., late-night hammer, but going with the Red Sox tonight.
Yeah, not for me. If you want the Hamwich freaking puke in your mouth core tonight, it's play Patrick Corbin and play the Red Sox and lose all your money. That's the core here tonight. That's the synopsis of the show. If you're just tuning in,
I'm about to play that now. I got to put a team in now and just ship it right now.
Like I said, you got my Venmo. Just go ahead and send me your entry fees. I'll take that and I'll enjoy it. Maybe I'll throw it in a slot machine because you got better odds to do that.
Throw it in that. What is it? Powerball, man. 1.3 billion. Let's go. I'm gonna be a billionaire come Saturday.
If that lineup ships tonight, you better buy yourself a ticket because, not for me. Tristan Casa, Rafael Devers, you can play those guys any slate. Just power bats there. 4,700, 5,400. Those guys are fine. But yeah, no bats for me in this one. I like both pitchers quite a bit. My second and third favorite pitchers on the entire slate. So no bats for this one. Just like the Seattle and Milwaukee game, my bats are going to be early and often here. I like the Phillies a lot. Obviously like the Braves, like the Royals. So my bats are going early, and then the Astros, and hopefully everyone's chasing me down at the top of the leaderboard. But that's all 7 games. Talk pitching, talk the stacks. If you guys are watching on playback or right now and you haven't hit that like button, please. Hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. How much I'm going to throw it over to you for your home run call of the evening, home run call or two, whatever you want. Maybe it's maybe you're going to go off the rails here and say a Ronald Acuna, much like a Mookie Betts type play. But hey, who knows? A home run's a home run. So I'll throw it over to you. Who you going? Home run call of the evening.
It doesn't matter if it's Acuna or Adam Duvall. Man, a home run on DK is 14 points. We got to get there somehow. You're going to give 2 tonight, so let me give 2. One is just an absolute lock. I saw it earlier. Who was it? It was I can't say him. That's too easy. I'm gonna give one. As I said him as a one-off earlier in the show. I like this pitcher, but I like him as a one-off. He's batting second tonight. Peter Alonso for your New York Metropolitans tonight. Give me Pete Alonso as my first one.
And he's getting a team's call as we talk about it right now. Go ahead and make sure you answer that team's call after we get off here. Do your due diligence there. But I'm giving a combo pack. I already gave out the one early on in the show. Hitting in the 6th spot tonight. Nelson Velasquez had a 403 ISO last season against right-handed pitching at home. I'm going to go one lineup spot above him as well. Another value guy, Mr. MJ Melendez. They're going back-to-back here tonight in Kansas City. I love Kansas City. Love pairing those guys. 3,600, 3,400. You're going to get combined 28 points minimum out of that combo pack there for just under $8,000 in DraftKings. Quick math, not my specialty, but hey, that's going to do it for this edition of the MLB show. How much any final remarks for the people on this Friday night before we get on out of here? Hopefully it's better takes than play Patrick Corbin and these Red Sox, but maybe you can redeem yourself.
Yeah, Myron Kidd loves Nelson Velasquez too. Gonna take another one deep. Hey, those Royals might be pesky tonight. in Kauffman Stadium. Looking forward to that. No, I think it's going to be a great one. To me, it's top-end pitching. If you want to get real gross, throw Patrick Corbin in there as well. But it's top-end pitching tonight for me. Wasn't there Monday, but we got him there tonight. So I think we got that, and I think we got some value bats, especially in KC. But looking forward to it. Hopefully we get another shipper. Hopefully you shortchanged Rio earlier, man. He won $70K the other night. He got first and he got fifth, like another 10,000. So, man, our boy Rio's just cutting up over there. Congratulations to him. But hopefully we get another in the winner's circle tonight over at the Nation.
Yeah, hopefully we do that. And if you want access to Rio's NBA content, which is still going on, obviously we're at the back half of the NBA season, but still tons of money to be made. Use that promo code HOOP15. Gets you 15% off any package you do choose for life, not just the first month. Takes it down to about $2 a day for all sports, access to every single sport we offer, including the Discord, including all the giveaways, everything there. HOOP15. That's going to do it. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. For Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. Let's ship it.